This is London with Bitcoin Spike VIP Trader. Hope you guys are doing well. This morning we are on the West Coast in California. We're going to be going through charts on Bitcoin. We are just about at the open of the markets. Guys, let's dig in. Let me get the screen capture up. Where are we? Boom. Let's bring over some information. We will be making this more standard in terms of our approach to bringing you the technicals. And you guys know the number one trade group. This is London, former hedge fund owner. Private, non-SEC, not financial advice. Let me get this specific, there we go. Let me rearrange just a bit the chart on the screen. I could just let you guys take a look at what I'm looking at, but we're looking at Bitcoin. You guys know that we're checking out Bitcoin. I have on a side screen, and you guys need to see this specific chart. This is a good chart in terms of Bitcoin's dropping right now, just a bit. As the market is railing into the session, I want to shout out to all the VIP. Hope you guys are doing well. Let me get this specific chart fashioned up. A little bit of technology going on in front of me. If you guys cannot tell, let me make this a little bit smaller. But you can see on the right-hand side behind me, over here, I'm looking at a bull flag. If you guys will lay out your 45-minute time frame, potential for a bull flag in that area is very strong. And it's the primary pattern that the bulls are looking at right now. But I found something in the charts last night. Want to bring it to you and make sure that all of you in the VIP have the chart pattern, okay, that we're looking at right now on Bitcoin. I want to shout out, and you guys just shout out. Let's see something in the comments. I hope you guys are doing well. Let me bring up the stream on the side here, and you guys can shout out in the comments, and I'll be able to interact with you there. In terms of the chart framework on the right-hand side, Bitcoin's being a little bit tricky in terms of the level of support, crawling the wall, as we would say, okay? In terms of crawling the wall. Looks like we've got a little bit of downward price action. Let's take a look at the, let me take a look and clean this chart up just a touch so you can see how Bitcoin is being just a touch tricky. As you would lay out your charts on your desktop, I'm gonna recommend that you go right now to the daily chart. It's not a hidden line, but not everyone likes to look at the daily chart. Let's take a look at the daily very quickly in terms of the specific line of support that you guys have on the daily chart. We're going to go into the daily. Boom. As we look at the daily, it has the most solid frame of reference in terms of the current price action, what we have been scaling when I say that we have been crawling, quote unquote, crawling the wall, right? Take a look at the Let's take a look at the daily chart here on the right-hand side. And if we go into the line chart, boom, let's hit the line chart on the daily. Let me clear up the other symbols. And you guys know we've just been pushing and pushing up and up and up along this level. It seemed a little bit uncomfortable. We're not sure why, like what level is holding on the lower time frames. Let me take this down into the 4 hourly, for instance. It's difficult because you see on the 4 hourly, that's the 4 hourly for Bitcoin. This is a great process for us to go through. Always make sure that you heavily consider that daily time frame, because you'll see on the 4 hourly, you guys see, we have this lower or this external level of support on Bitcoin. That's going to be a reinforcement level that buyers are going to right now where orders are stacked. Additionally, I'd say separate and apart from, that's on the 4 hourly. If we were to go on down into, let's say, the hourly, there's even a bit more on the hourly as we would look at this. And guys, I always recommend, I want to say good morning to you guys. Hopefully you're doing well. We're in California, so it's already dark. The sun is about to come up. So when we're streaming, just so you know, it's not like, oh, we're always in the dark. The sun's about to come up. When the sun comes up, it'll be nice and bright in here, guys. Looking at the details, I want to welcome you guys to VIP. We got Scotland in the house. What's up, Scotland? My man, what's going on, brother? Hopefully, and we got Venus. What's up? And we have a trade alert. Let's listen to what this is. Let me see if I can get this in. And I just nixed that one. I was trying to get to your chats. What we're looking at is a multi-time frame review of support. It's very easy for us to say, well, buy at support, sell at resistance, trade your patterns, right? You guys know the routine. Buy at support, trade at, you guys, it's the most fundamental trade tactic that you'll find in New York Institute of Finance or otherwise, or elsewhere, really, is that buy at support. But we have a multi-time frame dynamic in play right now. So I'll just tell you, when in doubt, check the daily. You guys know that. When in doubt, check the daily. And for additional detail, go and dig into your lower time frames without a doubt. This is a great example this morning that we've been crawling that, and I want to go back. This is the hourly right now that we're on. Just testing as we would go through that axiom, that that maxim or that rule, essentially, the buy at support. That's exactly what's going on almost immediately, guys. I'm going to tell you, depending upon the time frame, but this is a good lesson for us in terms of maximizing that entry on support. This is the hourly. Now, looking at the daily, because yesterday it's like Bitcoin just didn't want to give up. Like what was, you guys felt that. There wasn't enough momentum to the upside, but there was something that was continuing to push Bitcoin up. Let's take a look at that on the daily. And here we go. And Venus, so excited to have you in the chat. I'm going to chat with you a little bit, and with Scotland, my man. What's up? Guys, let's go. Venus, boom. And it's just nice that this room is full of VIP who are making money. That's a good thing. Yeah, that's a good thing. That is one of the requirements, I think, for being on the stream. Congratulations. And let me put Scotland, my man, what's up? And Scotland, I know you've looked at these lines. I just call you Scotland, by the way. Let's go, Scotland, power. I'll put power, boom. There we go. And all right, there we go. So, guys, we have some incredible tools incoming, just FYI, really incredible tools incoming for you guys. We've been working very hard on some cool stuff. Take a look at this. Let's go ahead and make this specific, this trend line on the daily. Let's make this white. And we know these issues, right? But it's like, it helps for this to be pointed out to us. You guys know that. It's like, we know this issue. You guys do your charts. You know this as a fact. But it really does help us to have the right group and to have the right team and to be focused on, let's say, the daily, and then certainly focused on those lower time frames. Let's dig into those lower time frames one more time. And give me 2 seconds. Let me have a sip of coffee if I can do that. 2 seconds. All right, I think that was mission critical, without a doubt. Now, taking a look at that white line, the white line is, as a matter of fact, the daily. You see, the daily is flexing. I would call this right now flexing through the level of support, without a doubt, on that daily. And as it's flexing, it's picking up. And I just mean that price on the daily, and you guys know it'll take a while for this to set, and that price on the daily is flexing through this specific level of support. As we would look at the specifics on the lower time frames, let's dig into the hourly. Let's look at that same, and this is why I wanted to bring this to you guys, because that same line of support is miserable to look at if you're looking at it right now on the hourly instead of on the daily, right? So we redraw that, okay? When we give it some credence, right? That was the specific line. If you look at the price action throughout the entirety of yesterday, that daily line is what was pushing and carrying Bitcoin up. So there is a multi-time frame dimension. There is a component of using that daily and reinforcing that larger, very important time frame without a doubt, but also using that additional multi-time frame component down into that lower level where orders are stacked. So yes, there are traders who are just going to be purposed into the daily. I mean, they're without a doubt, it's one of the most, you guys know, it is one of the most solidly recognized, well-established time frames. If you find a pattern on the daily time frame, you guys know, if you find a pattern on the daily time frame, the thing which I want you to consider is the following. The daily time frame, those charts are going to be around for a while. Okay, so your hourly time frame charts, they may disappear. Your 4 hourly charts, they may not make the cover of the book, whatever book a Bitcoin chart winds up in. But a daily chart on Bitcoin, it's part of the historical framework of Bitcoin. It's going to most likely be reproduced literally in materials. You guys get this? So there is a bit more respect for the daily chart because it's going to be preserved a bit more. So we always pay attention to, for instance, a daily line of support or a pattern that may be in play. Very, very important, okay? And now I want to bring into probably let's go ahead and bring this this chart into the mix here. This is on the 45-minute. There's nothing particular about the 45-minute other than the fact that there is a very nice push here going on. And I do want to kind of, I don't want to just have let's just say the recognition as we would look at a bull flag in formation. Let's go through the requirements first of all. Move to the upside potential downward sloping channel. Now, bulls really failed thus far to complete a fan reversal. We saw that in the back. You guys saw that in the back. Just maxed out here. It was another ascending triangle. Looked somewhat familiar to the top formation that we had here. You guys remember that top ascending triangle? Bitcoin just refusing to really push up as we channeled to the upside. And this blue channel to the upside, I want to encourage you one thing. We know this, we talk about it in the back, but I'll just kind of repeat this to you guys so that you can definitely focus on this. As you would look at channeling that's going on, let's say an upward sloping channel, I want you to always please put it in the context of what might that channel, what pattern might that channel be assisting to complete, okay? Always, when you see a channeling that's going on with a level of support, level of resistance, and I'm talking about the blue channel right now. As you would see, and you could call that micro channeling, you do see that ascending triangle, which did fail, right, to the downside, in line with a parallel carry up, okay, that ascending triangle. Flat top resistance, ascending line of support, failed a specific flat line, let's say a parallel line, carry up from support to resistance, okay? So this is where we quote unquote failed, okay? That ascending triangulation at the top, use the parallel line tool, and I just like the 45-minute. It's a nice, it's a handy feature right now. There's nothing specific about the time frames I mentioned, just so that you know. I'm not particular to a specific one, exclusive to the others. I may choose one, for instance, because it literally fits on a mobile device, and I know that many of you are on a mobile device, and I want you to be able to see the charts, okay? Some of you are on desktops, it's no problem, but if I say the 45-minute, it's because that specific chart will fit on your mobile device. You guys know this is London, former hedge fund owner, private, non-SEC, not financial advice. Taking a look at that carry up, the framework, which would be ideal, absolutely ideal. Now it would, and gauge your participation. Let's do this. Gauge your participation right now in the market. One of the reasons we do 100 rounds, one of the reasons that we have fire and ice. Gauge your participation as we look at the, let's just say this, the primary structuring here, or the initial formation here in the market. Since we've been consolidating, since this nice move to the upside, which we caught. We were conditioned green. We've had a few conditioned greens, which have hopefully been encouraging for you to buy some dips in this area, which have paid well. But looking at that 13% move to the upside, I want you to gauge this morning your participation in this consolidation, okay? I want you to ask yourself, have you been catching the drops? Okay, have you had the patience on those drops to see them actually pay off? Did you ever release, pay attention guys, did you ever release a position in the context of the last, let's see how long this has been, in the context of the last 3 days since we've been consolidating? Have you released a position that you turned around and say, if I would have kept that position, I'd be in the money right now? I am asking you to gauge your involvement in this consolidation over the last 3 days, okay? And I'm doing that because I really, really believe that 100 rounds, and that's, guys, that's our training program, but the additional volume of trades that you're able to discipline and to bring into your repertoire, that your level of success will increase in a zone like this, the more trades, okay, the more trades that you complete, bottom line. And while you're completing those trades, the last thing in the world that you want to occur in this zone is for you to get chewed up in terms of your profits. You know, we just caught a great move to the upside. You guys know that. We just got a great move, 10 to 12, 13% to the upside. The last thing you want to do is for this to be a catchy area. You guys know, a catchy area where you're giving back your profits to the market after a great move. So please assess the last few days. Don't let this be a nebulous day where you wake up and you decide, hey, I'm just going to trade today. You know, just, throw caution to the wind. I'm going to get involved and let's hammer into it. First, assess. Do the assessment. How have you performed in this zone the last 2 to 3 days? What about your trade game needs to change? I want to encourage you all. What about your trade game needs to change this morning, right? Right now, as the market is open. Let's take a look at, let's just take a look here. I'm going to take a look at the side here. and NASDAQ off a bit just to look for correlation purposes. And NASDAQ dropping just a bit. Everything relatively stable. Tesla off about a point. Not bad. As you would assess that, I would just say this. As you would assess, remember the maxims: buy at support, sell at resistance, trade your patterns, hit your targets. And within that framework, you're going to be harder. It's going to be more difficult for you to consistently lose trades if continually, and I'll say on the larger time frames, if continually on fire and ice our indicator, if you are geared towards entries, let's say on the hourly, I think the hourly has done very well on fire and ice. If you're consistently geared towards a green buy line, okay? Why is that? I just want you to understand, okay? It's not a plug for, it could be, you guys know, but in terms of your participation, if you've gotten chewed up in this area just last 3 days, look, are you buying lower? And understand there are 2 ways to approach this market. Do you have orders lower? Do you have an order lower at a green buy line right now or at a fire sale line? Okay? And you'll see the lineup here of the fire sale right on this line of support of the specific bull flag formation, right? Mid-level hit would be that green buy line. But what fire and ice does and what it's intended to do is to structure your involvement in the market. I tell you guys, really, the hourly and below are pro levels. Match up your specific fire sale line and your green buy line and your golden short and your ice cold short lines. Match those up with the patterns in play. Okay, you can see clearly the overlap here this morning as we try and build out this bull flag. And this pattern isn't necessarily done here, but are you structured? If you've had a difficult time the last 3 days, are you structured towards involvement at lower levels? Huge critical question. That's what fire and ice is intended to do, to prevent you from ever buying high. All right, on the 4 hourly, it becomes a lot easier. On the daily, it becomes a whole lot easier. The daily was the literal bottom of Bitcoin. And I told you kind of the approach. The brand new trader would go on the daily. 4 hourly, someone with some experience, still needing to match up those trend lines with the specific fire and ice lines, without a doubt, guys, without a doubt. But it should gear you to always, because what happens is everyone's talking about Bitcoin going up. You guys know this. Everyone wants to talk about Bitcoin going up, from the doctors or lawyers you meet to the guys, to the sidewalk street artists. Everyone wants to talk about Bitcoin going up, right? So what that does is that keeps you involved here, right? As you look at the chart, all of a sudden you want to go all in up here. No. We want to retrace our steps. We want to look at involvement below. Without a doubt, we buy low, even or especially while things are going up. Get these retraces. So please assess your involvement over the preceding 3 days. Are you stacked with orders below? That's what I always say. You guys got that. Stacked with orders below. Very important. So let's dig into additional details. Let me look at the chats and see what we have going on. And let's see if we have anything else going on. I wanted to see how Tesla worked out in terms of, look at that rebound. Boom, boom. Very nicely done. Tesla's about to complete an inverse head and shoulders. And I just have to say, I am not providing financial advice on the securities. I'd like to know what you guys think about something like Tesla. It's offered on BTCC to trade. #1 exchange, guys. In terms of that, the longest standing crypto exchange. Quite a nice pattern and quite a nice run by Tesla. Congratulations to VIP that are trading. And yeah, we have a target that is just about to get and is in the process of getting slam dunked. That inverse head and shoulders here. I'm excited to see the following for Tesla. And again, I brought Tesla to the VIP because it was just in a standard pattern from the New York Institute of Finance, but I brought that to the VIP in this zone down here. I am much less likely to be involved personally when something is marching on the way up. I really like to be involved at lower levels, guys. I really like to be involved at lower levels. Yes, I'll flash around with some, I'll just tell you, with some scalps or something along those lines. But I really, as we were to look at the framework here, I'm really interested now to look at Tesla. And guys, not to provide you financial advice, but to look at the left shoulder, the head formation, and the right shoulder, that inverse head and shoulder. Will we achieve technical conformance? Right, that's the #1 question as we look at it from the VIP, because I know a lot of you guys trade that. And so we're going to be looking as you're just hammering into that 100%, is there another pattern in play that could push price up a bit higher? The one pattern that I see that could be in play to push price a bit higher would be a bit of an angled cup and handle. Do you guys see that angled cup and handle? If traders wanted to push beyond that inverse head and shoulders, always look for that ulterior, I won't say ulterior motive, but I'll always look for that ulterior pattern to the point which you could see that cupature formation, and then that handle formation. We take the amplitude all the way up to here. You guys got that? It'd be a higher amplitude move up into a higher target. So look for that secondary. Throw a little caution to the wind if you're looking at a short while we're coming into contact with our golden short, and that's going to line up with that inverse head and shoulders target. So just something that I'm watching on Tesla. Phenomenal volatility. Congratulations to all the VIP who are trading. And yes, we're coming into contact with that specific level right now. I'm going to go to the 5-minute just for purposes of some diagnostics that I am currently working on. All right, just wanted to see kind of where we are at on the 5-minute. And let me take a look at exactly where we opened today. You guys let me know in the comments if you're just trading Bitcoin, if you are trading whatever you're trading. I'd like to know, without a doubt, I'd like to know what all you're trading. As we look at Bitcoin, Solana, Cardano, Doge, Matic, Ethereum, the big question is going to be how the end of the month settles up. I think, guys, with Powell and company, FOMC, right, big time. And I guess today the primary function of the stream, I wanted to come and talk to you about your involvement in the last 3 days here, okay? Because we have been going sideways. Have you been picking up at prior pivots? That's one of the, I've said this frequently, but it's not always grasped. Prior pivot to the left, bam, pick up. Prior pivot to the left, pushed a bit, but yeah, pick up. Bitcoin likes to pick up at prior pivots. She just does. In terms of that, you could call it a demand zone. We'll just say we have those fire and ice lines available, guys, and I want you to just to make use of them. Doesn't even have to be pinpoint calculated to the point of entry. You could scale in below, ladder and scale in below. But please assess your involvement in the last 3 days before you just go helter-skelter and pound more profits. And pay attention, this is for VIP and anyone else who winds up hearing later. Before you, and because a lot of you did very well on this move to the upside, these moves to the upside, we traded every one of those. As the consolidation here has occurred, I just want to encourage you to assess your involvement today. Take a real solid look at what your deficiencies are. Have you been buying high? Are you overexposed? Can you cover your current position if you needed to? If you've gotten stopped out too much, if you switched to, and shout out to JMac, my man, if you switched to a strategy whereby you would carry a float position and compound in at a lower level, does your leverage and your capital exposure, two things, your leverage and your capital exposure, does that allow you to cover any upside position? Because things become very comfortable